COP27 Climate Summit begins today in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, where Israel is expected to showcase the largest pavilion that it has ever had, mostly showcasing technologies that attempt to tackle climate change. I-24's Emma Siegel reports.
The land of alternative milk, alternative honey, and alternative meat. This is how Israel has promoted itself for the upcoming COP27 United Nations Climate Summit in Egypt's Sharm el-Sheikh. The event kicks off on November 6, where Israel will showcase one of the largest pavilions, promising solutions to global environmental issues. Here's what this year's COP27 president and last year's COP26 president said about the summit.
I assure you here that Egypt will spare no effort in this regard, and that we will provide the best conditions that allow all participants from all parties, governmental and non-governmental, to contribute to the success of this important event and to ensure that it produces the results we all aspire to.
Leaders around the world have faced competing priorities this year. We must be clear. As challenging as our current moment is, inaction is myopic and can only defer climate catastrophe. How many more wake-up calls do world leaders actually need?
This is the most significant Israeli participation since the International Conference on Climate Change began in 1995. Last week, Israeli President Isaac Herzog tweeted the importance of this upcoming event.
The climate crisis is an international and Israeli emergency, an important opportunity to display Israeli accomplishments and know-how in the field of the climate crisis.
Herzog will be representing the country at the summit, alongside a number of senior Israeli officials from both the public and private sectors. This climate summit comes in the wake of extreme effects of climate change, severe floods in Pakistan, droughts across Europe, and the rise in desperate pleas for change from young climate activists.
What is worth more, art or life? Are you more concerned about the protection of a painting or the protection of our planet and people?
With the world continuing to warm at alarming rates, will this summit help in the fight against climate change? Or will we continue to see activists throw soup on world-renowned paintings?
And we're joined in studio by Rony Erez. She's the co-director of the Heschel Center for Sustainability here in Israel. Thank you very much for coming into our studio just a few days before you yourself are going to Sharm el-Sheikh with quite a large delegation. So the greatest decision that the leaders convening in Sharm el-Sheikh need to make, will or will not, is with regarding to reducing 45% of CO2 and other emissions by 2030, after they've already committed to 90% reductions, most of them by 2050, in order to expedite change. Are you optimistic?
Well, unfortunately, no. I think that going to Glasgow last year, we came with big hopes, and I think that the organizers and all the atmosphere around it was quite conducive, and we were really hoping for real progress, and it failed us. And this year, due to the energy crisis and the war and the situation with the gas, then I think unfortunately, it's even less likely for true progress the way we need it.
So world leaders, you mentioned the gas crisis in Western Europe. World leaders are confronting citizens that are angry about bills going up, people perhaps not having enough gas or oil to heat their homes. And some may say this needs to be treated first. Renewables are not at a state where they can fill in the gap. So climate will have to wait. But what do you say to these people? How long can we wait before we'll disappear?
Listen, I'm not an energy expert, and I'm not expert in what is viable or not viable, but for us it's always sad because we've been saying for many, many months now that the crisis is coming and renewables can be of good use and of good contribution to the stability of the situation. And you can see around the world, countries that do have high levels of renewables, reliable systems of renewables, they're going through the crisis much, much better than others. There are, every now and again there's an article of this X, Y, and Z city in the United States that are completely unaffected by horrible weather events around it, but it is resilient because of renewables and because of a more innovative approach to energy management. So as far as I can see it, or as far as we're concerned, the faster we go about renewables, the more resilient we are for climate change.
Is nuclear energy an option, or is too much energy being consumed and used in the process of making nuclear energy?
Again, I'm no expert, but I think that taking into consideration the risks of nuclear energy, the risks to biodiversity, the risk for, any tiniest mistake is something that, we will not be able to repair, and the universe will take many years to repair. So it's a huge risk, even though, it's been proven to be a clean energy. Again, on this as well, Europe has been trying to phase out of nuclear and replace it with alternative, more safer alternatives. But I hear that now the nuclear plants are also being,
in France and Germany. These are actually economies that are quite reliant on it. But the story is much greater than emissions, right? It's much greater than how much we pollute the planet, whether it's the rivers or the fresh water or the land. It's really a story about reaching the planetary boundaries of Earth.
Yeah, it's a story about hubris, about our belief of what we can use out of the Earth without losing our own resilience and our own ability to deal with life on this miraculous planet. And yes, us in the Heschel Center, we keep saying that this crisis is a socio-economic crisis. It's not necessarily an environmental crisis. The environment is a symptom of a much bigger misunderstanding or misuse of human management of the Earth's resources.
So where do some of the misconceptions lie?
So, for example, this concept of internal growth, the fact that we can grow and grow and grow, and the fact that we as humans can only be in a good position only if we grow and the economy grow and we consume more and we purchase more and we use more. And this kind of thought.
Of course, that's what we were taught. The graph has to go up forever. Otherwise, if you don't grow, you die. Is that not correct?
I mean, I think that it's more than not correct. It's dangerous and fatal for us as humanity. Really, there's really no way that we can continue this race for growth without putting ourselves in serious trouble vis-a-vis the Earth's resources and ability to.
But isn't technology here to fix everything?
Unfortunately, has it been proven before, technology has its advantages, but also can put us also in different situations that we didn't foresee. For example, we need to attribute a lot of our lives today to the coal and steam engines, for example. So back at the day when we invented this technology, it really gave a huge boost to the world. It really made a lot of people less poor. It gave us option to explore different parts of this planet. It was for a while a really positive force. And here we are now dealing with the repercussions of our immediate adaptation of this technology with open arms. We didn't foresee the problems, even though you can find people writing about it back then that the emissions are a problem, but we didn't foresee it as humanity. And I think now, technology will be part of it. It needs to be part of it. But I think that without real change in the way we do democracy, the way we do economics, the way we do social change, without deep inspection into these aspects, we won't really be able to deal with the crisis.
So after 150 years of industrial revolution and an economy that was concentrated around consumption and capitalism, it's time for what? Limitarianism? I don't even know how to pronounce it. Limiting people on how much, us human beings, on how much we can do just to prevent us from killing ourselves?
It's definitely time for real thought innovation and thought progress. We really need to reevaluate the way we assess economic success. We need to find new ways to make sure that everything is working and that people live well.
Rony Erez, co-director of the Heschel Center for Sustainability. Thank you very much for coming into our studio.
Thank you very much.
And good luck at COP27
Thank you.
in Sharm el-Sheikh.